you too can excel at not being a jerk to people about their medication choices. There's just 2 easy steps. Number 1, don't joke about people being on medication or going off of it. Might seem harmless to you, and maybe it is. I mean, depends on the joke, I guess. But most of these kind of jokes, I mean, first of all, they're not really very funny. They're just kind of lazy humor, like, haha, like, blah, 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 they're crazy. It's not creative. It's really not something worth defending because it just, doesn't really have any redeeming qualities. And it stigmatizes people choosing to go on medication or choosing to go off of it. Secondly, don't lecture people about their medication choices. Unless somebody asked for your advice or you're part of, the people in their lives that helps them make decisions about whether or not they are on medication, like a parent or guardian or a prescriber or psychiatrist, it's really just none of your business. And just keep your agenda out of it. Choosing to use medication or not is a really multifaceted, very personal issue for each person. There are lots of different kinds of reasons people use medication, lots of different kinds of medication. Just because something is, big pharma doesn't mean you can paint it all with the same brush. There are all kinds of considerations that people make in choosing to use it or not use it. For instance, for me, I'm bipolar, and I am one of the lucky bipolar people who has a medication that's been around for a long time, lithium carbonate. It works well for me, minimal side effects. It does what I need it to do. So I've used it for years at a time. It doesn't work for everyone who's bipolar for all kinds of reasons. One, it mostly helps with mania, which is the main thing I struggle with, but not everyone who's bipolar really has that problem. Some people mostly struggle with the depression aspect. And then there's just the fact that, for some people the side effects are really intense, and different people have different brain chemistries, and it's still kind of a mystery how a lot of those drugs work, why they work for some people and others. The thing about any kind of mental health diagnosis is that it's mostly being diagnosed on external symptoms. So when it comes to what about somebody's brain and body and life experience and whatever is causing these symptoms, a lot of the times we don't really know. Even, the experts, they have ideas, they might know something about it, but, there's a lot of mystery. There's a lot of different factors. It's complicated. And you may think that you know something about the pharmaceutical industry, or that you know something about, what people with certain mental conditions need to do to be functional or need to do to be acceptable to you. But if you don't have any personal experience, and I mean really personal experience, you probably shouldn't be talking about it. If somebody's not asking for your opinion, you probably shouldn't be talking about it. Even if you do have personal experience, you can speak from that, but that doesn't mean that your experience is going to be super relevant to anybody else in particular. So, like I said, I have used medication for a long time. I've had really mixed experiences though. Some medications I've tried didn't really do anything for me. Some medications I've tried were horrible and weren't worth it because the side effects were so bad. I've gone off medications. I've gone off medications without telling anybody and I stand by that choice in that specific instance. Found out later that that drug has been, now people agree that it shouldn't be prescribed long term. And it was prescribed for me long term, and I went off of it after 4 or 5 months. And now I'm finding out that was absolutely the right thing for me to do. But I wouldn't have had support for it at the time. You know, the choices that we make about what we put in our bodies is very personal. And it's hard enough to deal with, living in a society that isn't really built for people whose internal and external worlds don't really mesh with society. Those of us that have a hard time, we already have a hard time maybe going to school or working or organizing our personal lives or having relationships or all of the above. And there's maybe no way around that. But you can make it that much easier by just not being obnoxious about the things that we choose to do to cope. And the personal decisions that we make about what works for us. So I hope this has been informative. Please let me know if you have personal experience with people lecturing you, or just want to share what your experience has been with taking different medications, or choosing alternative kinds of therapy and coping without being on medication, either because it's your choice or because you haven't had access to medication. So let me know. Okay, bye.